Hi, it's Eugenie, I'm back again. This time I'm going to start a series called Technique with Eugenie, which is on the side of Learning Violin with Eugenie, because I've received a lot of messages on Instagram asking how I practice certain techniques, and the most popular ones seem to be vibrato, which we'll be doing today. I've already received quite a lot of suggestions on my Instagram of what to do for my videos, so if you have anything extra you need help with, please comment down below or message me on Instagram, which will be in the description, and I'll try to make a video on it as soon as possible. So today's video will be vibrato, so let's get into it. Before I even pick up the bow, I do two main exercises, which I call silent exercises, which are just to get my brain and my fingers ready on how to do the vibrato and how the action is. So the first exercise, you don't even have to just use it for vibrato because it warms up your fingers anyway, so it's a win-win, to be honest. The first exercise is I do it on each string with each finger, because an important thing to remember is that when you practice vibrato, you should always do it on each string firstly, because each string has a different thickness and tension, and also you should practice vibrato on every finger, because again each finger has a different strength, and you should always incorporate all of the fingers. Going back to the silent exercises, the first exercise I do, as I said, it's on each string and with each finger, but so you can see it more clearly, I'll start on the A string today, but usually I start from the G string up to the E string. So what I do is I'll do my first finger first. I just slide up and down. You just put your finger on the string, but you don't press like you're going to play a note. You just rest it, lie it without pressing. Just touch it and slide all the way up to the top of the fingerboard, and your thumb also moves to guide it as well, and all of your fingers move together. And then I do it with the second finger, then the third, then the fourth, and so on. And I do about 3 sets of 10, it's like a gym now, but 3 sets of 10, and on each string with each finger. So it takes about 10 minutes, but it gets your fingers nice and warmed up. The purpose of this exercise is just to help your fingers and your brain know what the feeling of doing vibrato is like. But it's an exaggeration, but you only learn things by exaggerating it, and then you can bring it back. Okay, so I've moved the angle a bit so it's easier to see what I'm doing for this next exercise. So the second of the silent exercises is the actual vibrato action, but just without the bow, so we can focus on how it should look and feel first. So I do this on every string with every finger. I do it in first and third position. I'll just show you on the A string for now, but I'll start with the easiest finger, which is the second finger. For me it's the easiest finger, it might not be for you, but anyway, so I start with the second finger on the A string in first position, which is an E. And what you do, as you can see, I'm just moving this out of the way so you can see, but you shouldn't do this. But so you put it on like so, like you would just normally put your fingers on the string. And then because it makes a right angle on the string, you should just move it forward so this joint touches the string, and then move it back to its original position, and then move it forwards. It shouldn't go well, you can't anyway, it's almost impossible, but you shouldn't move your finger back, and also you shouldn't slide your finger around. You should just keep the pad in its position and just move it forwards, move it back, move it lying down, move it back, and then you can gradually speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. Usually for this exercise, I do a lot of it slowly. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, but always keeping it on the pad like this. And then I do it with every finger, so the first finger, and so on, every finger, the third finger, and then the fourth finger, which is the hardest one in my opinion, because it's the weakest. But always the inside of your finger should lie like so. That's it. Obviously we won't do that all the time when we do vibrato. This is just the action over exaggerated again. So if you do that in every position, and you can even, it's really good if you practice it up here, because it is much harder up here, but you will be glad you did it in the long run. So that should also take about 10 to 15 minutes, but it's worth it, trust me. I've got my bow now, and I'm going to do this exact same silent exercise number 2, this one, but I'll do it with the bow. And I usually call these meow exercises because it literally sounds like a cat meowing, but I'll just show you what it's like. So your action should be quite like it literally. It shouldn't be too. For now, we want to be a bit more separated, so you can feel your finger bouncing back. It's literally like it's on a trampoline. It's bouncing back to the position. It literally, I'm not lying. It sounds like a cat. I do that exercise with every finger. First finger. What you shouldn't be doing is sliding it like this. It's just literally this finger joint, your finger moving forwards and backwards like a book. It's like a book opening and closing, not sliding. We're not dancing. So that's what I do. And then obviously every finger up high. And then once you do that a few times, again, I do it every day before I practice. It's as a warm-up. I'm going to tell you about different types of vibrato. So what we saw there was really slow and wide vibrato. You wouldn't really usually play like that in a piece, but that's like the beginner, how you start learning. Then there is also slow and narrow vibrato, which is obviously still slow, but if you want to do slow and narrow vibrato, obviously the narrow and wide is relating to how much I fold my finger like that. So obviously the wide, slow and wide is this. Wait, slow and narrow would be putting my finger less on the fingerboard, this joint. So it's about half of the distance you need to travel. So and you can tell the difference between wide, which is, and then the difference between the two. So also practice the slow and narrow vibrato as well, because it's also a good exercise on how to control your vibrato, because you will need to be able to control it well, because it's not good to play a piece with just one speed or style of vibrato, because it's always good to vary it up. For example, if it's more passionate or loud, you might do a faster vibrato because it adds to the excitement rather than a slow one. So you might want to think about that. So the fast vibrato, I'll show you the fast and wide now. So obviously you're moving your finger quite a lot, as in the folding motion. I'll just call it the folding motion for now. Folding motion is fast, but you're doing it fast, but it's still aiming to go all the way touching. So, but you're no longer hearing the, it's kind of dissolving into the E, one note. So but it's quite thick and juicy. Now going on to the fast and narrow vibrato, it's the same as how we did the slow and narrow, but just faster. So we're not moving our finger all the way down. We're keeping it quite, not still, but we're not going to be going crazy like we did before. Demonstrate it to you now. So hopefully you can see and hear the difference between fast and wide, which is, you can see my fingers are going crazy there. We actually do tend to use all four of these different types of vibrato in pieces, even though you wouldn't think that the slow one sounds as good. Some pieces, it kind of fits. Obviously I was exaggerating, but it shows you that exercise is the most important one, because it is the catapult for how you do vibrato, because that is the action, but you can just refine it a bit more to make it the narrow one. But what I showed you is really good because it's a really good exercise and it really helps. I usually also practice vibrato in scales. I'll just do a 1 octave scale for now to just show you, because I don't want to run out of time. But usually I do 3 octaves so I can utilize the whole violin. I do them all in the 4 ways when I practice vibrato scales, 4 times, which is slow wide, slow narrow, fast wide, fast narrow. Got it? So that's what I do. I practice the scales 4 times in the different ways, and I bear in mind to keep my vibrato connected. I'll show you in the fast narrow setting. So what I do is I want to make sure my vibrato is connected and consistent, which means the same amount, and I don't stop when I start every note. It shouldn't be like this. So what I want to do every time I do these scales is make sure that as soon as I start the next note, I start vibrating, because it doesn't sound good when you stop, start, stop, start. So we want it consistent, so. Like that. And when I practice the vibrato scales, I don't do open strings, I just do 4th finger. Vibrato practice I do. So if you have any more questions, or if you even want me to make another video on this, for example in the setting of a piece or even a study, I can show you that. And so if you would like me to do that, please comment down below or message me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, whatever. They're all linked down below. I don't know. Anyway, just let me know and I'll do it for you. I'm happy to do pretty much anything within reason, violin related. So yeah, and please let me know if there are any other techniques that you want to do. I think my next video will probably be on a bowing technique because I've been asked a lot about up-bow staccato, and then I'll do another video on spiccato later. So all of those kind of things, but if you need help with anything else, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to help with that. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope it was clear enough. So if you have any more questions even about the vibrato or anything, please comment down below, or you know where to find me. I said like 5 times already. So thank you so much for watching. Fridays I have my Learning Violin with Eugenie, where I teach my dad the violin. So if you want to check out those, you can. They'll be in my channel in the playlist Learn Violin with Eugenie. But I really hope this was helpful, and please let me know if you have any other questions, and if you like these videos, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye!